Hey, I'm Brian Power, and today we are going to talk about the Ibanez S-Series range of guitars. The line of Ibanez Sabres, along with the Ibanez RG, was released in the late 80s. I believe the Ibanez Sabre originally came out in 1987. Wow, that's as old as I am. And Sabre is what the S stands for in Ibanez S-Series. And Ibanez has released different variations of the S-Series line of guitars based on the original Sabre. The Ibanez S-Series has very thin edges, but it still has a very thick center where your pickups are, so there is still tone. Plus, there just has to be room for all of our springs and stuff for the floating tremolo. This particular guitar has a mahogany body, a maple neck, a rosewood fretboard. It has a 22 fret neck and it's a 25.5-inch scale. It comes with a ZR floating trem. Yes, I said Z, I'm Canadian. This is the S470 model, which has the quilt top. I forget what the one this is, but it's like that awesome red color. But you could get these, I believe, in an orange and a blue color too. And I believe some of them even had the quilt headstock as well. I can't quite remember for sure. I bought this guitar back in 2007 used from a Music Stop. I believe it was still Music Stop at the time before it became Long McQuade. For the people in North America, Music Stop, Long McQuade is kind of like Guitar Center. And whoever owned it had this awful whammy bar job. They took the original whammy bar and bent it up higher, so they didn't like how low the whammy bar sits to the guitar. And most of you guys who use a whammy bar realize that it actually sits much closer to the strings. And that is so your hand can, grab it while you still mute the strings. Apparently this guy didn't do that. So I bought a brand new whammy bar from Rich Harris at Ibanez Rules. I'm pretty sure he's still selling Ibanez parts and whatnot. And if he is, I highly recommend getting some parts from him. Awesome guy to deal with. I actually don't really use the whammy bar in this guitar anymore. I mostly do all my whammy bar stuff with my Ibanez RG. Talked about in another video. Apparently the most popular video on my channel at this moment. Originally, this Ibanez S-Series came with original edge tremolos, but due to different Floyd Rose patents and licensing, Ibanez had to start making their own tremolo designs that didn't have to pay for the licensing and whatnot. So then they started putting on what these called were ZR tremolos. Personally, I do not like the ZR tremolo all that much. Unfortunately, it's actually very soft metal. I really kind of have some gripes with that. I had a lot of problems with this compared to the original edge that I have on my RG. But there were some really neat designs with this. You didn't have to use a screwdriver to adjust the springs in the back of the tremolo. There's actually this little knob right here to adjust the level of it, which is really cool. It has string stop, and it even had a spring. It even has spring tension. It shows the actual level of tension on the springs in there, which is actually really kind of neat. And for adjusting the intonation, there's actually a little tool that screws. I know we're not going to see right here, but actually screws in and out of the body, and you stick it in this part of the tremolo here to adjust the saddle once you loosen it up with the Allen key. One of the things with the Ibanez guitars is that they always come with cheaper pickups, and I found these ones very muddy, especially for tuning low. I used to tune this guitar to D standard. I put a DiMarzio D Sonic in the bridge. Eventually I will change the middle and neck. In saying that, This guitar is awesome. This guitar actually traveled all the way around the world with me. No warpage, no nothing. This guitar is actually very solid. It holds its tuning super well. Ibanez also made some other guitars based on the Ibanez S series. Notably, I would say would be the SA series, which is a very similar guitar to this, but I believe it has a flatter back than the Ibanez S series, and it doesn't have a locking tremolo. It has a more traditional floating tremolo on it. And then there was also the fixed bridge version of the S series, which was called the SZ, and they had a hardtail or a tune-o-matic bridge on them, they were a phenomenal guitar, and I believe those are out of production now. Although I was complaining about the tremolo earlier, you can buy a Prestige model now. I looked on their website earlier that actually has, I believe, a low pro edge or an original edge on it. Probably a low pro edge, and that would be absolutely phenomenal. Also, a really cool variation of the S series would actually be the E-Gen, which is Herman Lee's from Dragon Force's signature model, where it has a hand grip right here. And Herman Lee was known for playing some of the original S series guitars. In fact, in their super popular video, Through the Fire and the Flames, you can see him playing an original S series guitar. And that leads us to the point of why I actually bought this as my first good guitar. I played guitar for probably 3 or 4 years before I bought a good one. So like I said, I found this one used. But what really attracted me to this guitar was the fact that bands like Dragon Force and All That Remains were using them. And when I first found Dragon Force playing the Ibanez S series back when I was a young, impressionable teenager, it seemed pretty obvious that this is the kind of guitar that I wanted to get. It was a shredder, and I was just turned on by power metal. I absolutely loved it. But up until recently, I hadn't actually played this guitar in a long time. It's been probably about 5 years or more. It's set in a case. It was dirty. It just had old strings on it. I was always battling with the tremolo and stuff. So my buddies Evan and Andrew over at Swan Audio took the guitar from me and did a whole setup and did a couple little mods for me. They put an audio taper pot in here, which is a little bit different than the stock pots that come on regular guitars. And they also put in a no-load tone pot. The no-load tone pot isn't actually a standard thing in production guitars. When the no-load tone pot is turned always up, it actually comes out of the circuit, so your signal goes straight to the amp. So you're not actually getting any coloring in your distortion, so you get a stronger signal. So when you roll the pot back, it comes into the circuit and it does a whole lot more tone shaping than a regular tone pot does. I like this option of the no-load tone pot. The thing is, with the pots that come with these guitars and how thin the guitar is here on the edge, this knob here sticks up a little bit further than the stock pots do. I'm not sure if the holes had to be modded. I'm gonna assume they probably did. Since I've got this guitar back, it has played the best it ever has. It plays the way it should have. And overall, if you like sleek guitars, you like a shred guitar, the Ibanez S series is an awesome choice. This guitar holds its tuning awesome, which is what you want. It sounds great. It plays easy. All right, guys, I want you to go over, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when I put up new videos, hit that like button, and I will see you all later on.